Alright, this is Jason from the editing. I'm just taking a quick break to give you all a heads up. So the video subject this time around is going to be recording this new album of Uilleann piping, and I just wanted to say that I'm really sorry in advance, but it's a bit of a talking head kind of video where I'm just sort of chatting to the camera for a lot of it. So maybe treat it like a podcast or a self-help seminar, and I've tried to be like as truthful as possible about it because there's a bit in it where I go through the financials of my previous album of Uilleann piping. So if you're interested in that, you can, I'm happy to share that with everyone, just so we all know what's on the board with that. And I've missed the April Fools, unfortunately, so there's a bit at the end where I've included something that I was going to do for April Fools. It's my Haircare Routine, which people keep asking about, so anyway, apologies in advance. Hope you enjoy the video. I've tried to make it as interesting as possible, really. I'm sure it's not as bad as I think. But anyway, it's a long old slog, this one. So like I said, dip in, dip out whenever you want, and I've time-stamped all the bits. So if there's something you're particularly interested in, you can find out more. Any questions, any comments, let me know. Stick it down there. Like if you liked it. On with the video. Hi there folks, and welcome back to the channel. My name's Jason Rouse, and it's been a little while since the last video that I put out, and the reason is, well, I kind of want to address it in this video and talk through some of my thinking and maybe field some questions and see what everyone thinks. But I've been recording. Been working on an album of solo Uilleann piping, and what a ride it's been. It's been pretty much taking up all my free time recently. I haven't been doing much else than sleeping, breathing, living, live, laugh, loving, recording Uilleann pipes for a new album. I just wanted to take an opportunity to give everyone a bit of an update on where things are going with it, and maybe my processes, and see what people think about the overall situation regarding it. In general, maybe as a little bit of an advert as well, I suppose. Get the word out that I've got an album coming out, and we'll see how it goes. I'll talk you through some of my processes, some of the things that I've been done, how I've been recording, what it sounds like, what I'm going to do with the recording eventually, and might pick up some tips and tricks along the way as well. That should be good. And I'm sorry I didn't even get a chance to do my usual April Fool's things. 1 year I released an album of just ringtones. This year I was planning on doing an episode on like what hair products do you use, what's my hair care routine, because a lot of people, believe it or not, ask me about that sort of stuff, and I thought it would be a funny one to do. I don't know, maybe I'll put it in this one. I'll see if I've got time for it. Like I said, I'm a busy boy at the minute. Okay, so here's the elevator pitch for this album, if you will. So what I wanted to do was release an album of solo Uilleann piping, traditional tunes, mostly. I guess what maybe makes this different from a lot of the other stuff that's put out there is I just wanted to go through and play a lot of different sets of pipes. I think I've got like 5 or 6 sets of pipes here, and they range from like 200-year-old sets to something that's a bit more modern. And I just wanted to do an album that goes through and highlights the sort of tonal differences and the way that each of these instruments play, and hopefully playing some tunes that like suit the instrument as well. And the instruments that I'm using on this one, I haven't featured a lot of them on the channel really. I mostly play either my like Ronan Brown set or the Wolf set or the Taylor set on the channel. I've got a set. Maybe we'll go back in chronological order actually for this one. I got a set that's just behind me actually that I've been trying to like fix up and get working and ship for the album by Michael Egan, or bits of it are made by Michael Egan. It's from about sort of 1840s, probably made when he was living in Liverpool. It was found in the UK, so I think that's probably where it came from. There's a set made by the Taylor brothers, the comic set. That's like the main voice, if you want, of this album. I wanted to make it mostly about the Taylor set, and then like the other instruments are like little garnishes, little side dishes, if you will. And so I've got a Taylor set, that's about the 1880s. I've got another set then afterwards. We don't know who it's made by, probably George Glenn. I don't know, either George Glenn or George Glenn with bits of McFadden. Like the regular keys look like McFadden, but the rest of it kind of looks like George Glenn. And that's a nice set in C sharp. Yeah, sounds really nice and punchy. That was yeah, relatively straightforward to record with as well. And then I've got the Leo Rosum boxwood set that I really kind of wanted to get that one into E flat, but it actually felt much better to be playing in D, so that one's a D set. And I've got my Jeff Wolf set, which was made in the 1980s, and that's sort of pitched between B and C. I used that on my previous sort of piping album. You can hear that one. It's called Fieldish Recordings. So a couple of tracks on the Wolf set, absolutely lovely stuff. And then the most modern one I've got on there is a set that was made by Ronan Brown. So Ronan Brown's personal set that he played for donkey's years. Comes with two chanters, both made by Peter Hunter, which was, again, a really nice set to play. Yeah, so like a nice sort of mix. We've got the sort of really weird, like hard to play old sets on there. I've got a set that sounds like an old set but was actually an absolute joy to play, and I've got a couple of sets in D with different sort of voices and characteristics. So like the Taylor set has like a narrowish board chanter, big regular sound. Yeah, sounds like all those old 78s, Patsy Tui recordings, all that sort of thing. Then I've got the Ronan Brown, which is like a modern contemporary D, very recognisable sound from all those recordings that he would have made and soundtracks and bits and bobs like that. And then the other one I've got is the Leo Rosum 3/4 set in D, really big, strident, really super trebly, classic Leo sound. Yeah, so yeah, nice mix of tones. Makes for interesting listening. I'm basically trying to go through and pick out tunes and sounds that the instrument wants to lead me. Like I'm always, like I've played a lot of pipes and I've got a lot of pipes that are in similar keys, whatever, but each of them has like a specific way that they like to be played. And rather than like trying to force it down, like this is how I play pipes and I only play pipes this way, I'm more of the idea that you have to like lean into the instrument and play how the instrument wants to be played. So that's what I've done with these ones, and yeah, I'm kind of happy with how it came out so far. My recording process for this one, I'm of the mind that, like, well, for one, I never really play the same way twice. If I'm playing a tune, it always kind of differs each time, which is kind of what you're looking for. When you're playing Irish traditional music, you don't want to be boring, you don't want to bore yourself, and you don't want to bore your audience by playing in the same way. So it's all different every time I do it. Because I'm playing a lot of older instruments, the recording process normally involves a lot of tweaking and tuning up and trying to get things right. So if I'm doing recording, normally the night before, what I'll do is I'll spend a couple of hours just going over the instrument, tightening all the joints, making sure everything's kind of functionally, like mechanically, in the right place and ready to go. And then if I'm recording the next day, I'll get up and I'll just tweak all the reeds and get everything kind of like 99% in tune. Yeah, most of the time I'm spent tuning up and trying to get things going, and then what I'll do is I'll do a small number of takes. You know, sometimes it'll be whatever tunes just jump out of the instrument and feel like that they want to be played, and sometimes I'll have like an idea of maybe what I want to record. So maybe a tune that's important to me, or maybe a tune that's important to the instrument. A nice balance of stuff. And just short takes, you know, just a couple of like 3 or 4 goes around, maybe even just like one time around. And I find just like personally, the more I play it, the more I get into like doing different takes and trying to do it, it can become a bit of a slog, and I didn't want that to happen. And you know, I'm not one of those pipers that wants it to be like 100% perfect each time. Like, I kind of enjoy those on-the-spot recordings, you know? Like, when I listen to like my favourite sort of piping recordings, those of you who know me or know the channel, it tends to be like the really weird, like private field recordings that they would have had in the old days, you know, like the old Seamus Ennis stuff or the Willie Clancy things or whatever, you know, just off the cuff, just playing just for the sheer enjoyment of the instrument. So that was kind of the vibe that I wanted to go for with this whole recording process. So yeah, just like a couple of takes, pick one that I like, and then just move on to something else. and it sounds nice and easy, but in practice it was actually a bit of a struggle. Yeah, just trying to get instruments working and playing in tune and having them feel on you. And yeah, there's a couple of interesting things that like happened whenever I was recording. Like you start the tune and everything's playing in tune, and by the end of the tune the drones are out and the regulators are off or whatever. I've left some of that in because I think it actually adds to it. You know, it's just got a different vibe, and that's sort of really like hyper crystal clear, polished, perfect recording. And I'm nothing against musicians who want to do that. Like if that's your jam, you want to have something that's, you know, absolutely 100% perfect every time. To you, fair play to you. I am more along the lines of I just want something that's organic. You know, something that captures a moment in time. You know, a record, if you will. A bit more fun, yeah. Less of these like crystal clear, polished, piping recordings. Just give me something quick and dirty. Those of you that follow my music will know that the last like Uilleann piping album I did was I had recorded it here in my home, but onto one of my little it was a little cassette recorder that I had whenever I was a kid growing up. I used to record all like lessons and concerts and stuff like this, and I wanted to really capture that kind of vibe with the previous album. But this one, I wanted to do it a little bit differently. I wanted to go for like a high fidelity, like, you know, nice sounding, as nice as I could make them sound, kind of Uilleann piping album. You know, the kind of thing that people might actually pay money to listen to. Who knows? I've got some studio experience. Like before this, I actually played in a rock band, playing lead guitar, and played in studios and recorded and things, and played to a click track and all that sort of stuff.
So this is Jason recording the intro to Bones.
Yeah, I've got some experience like recording. I know how to make things work. I know how to make things sound good. I know about microphones. I know how to use like recording software. I'm like a certified trainer for using Logic. I even helped to develop the Logic certification exam, actually. So I know my way around like audio recording and the digital audio workstations and all that sort of thing. And maybe I'll just talk a little bit about recording from home. With the scope of the instruments, what I had to do was spend a long time getting things tuned up, and then playing for maybe half an hour where things are kind of singing and settling in the right place. And then after I play for a little bit, things start to go out of tune, and then it's kind of out the window, and you stop and you come back in an hour's time or whatever. So the whole process was, just like tuning up in the morning, spending a little bit of time trying to get like one or two nice takes in there, and then, before everything goes haywire, and then spending the rest of the day just going through and analysing and picking out good stuff and sorting it out. So yeah, it's been kind of like a full-time job, really. And I asked around like a lot of my friends. So I've got friends who have recorded pipes in the past, and friends who are producers and all that sort of thing, instrument makers, and found maybe the best way for me recording at home was using an XY microphone placement. So two microphones that are perfectly matched, so they're the same, essentially as close as you can get for the same sort of microphone. Point them where they're sort of overlapping on like an XY axis, like that sort of thing, and then use that to mic up the chanter, the regs, that sort of thing, close up. And then the other thing I would have is a condenser mic just in the room, just to pick up any extra sounds. And the room that you're recording in makes a big difference, so you can play around with like different rooms and see what fits. Like the previous recording I did was in a different room, and I found that this one worked in a different room from what that one was, just because the way the things were laid out. So, and I had my studio engineer helping out, little cat Goose. One of the things that I actually picked up from some studio work and other people's tutorials is to try and make the environment a bit nicer. And this is like a problem from like recording from home. You know, you're just sat at home and you're recording yourself here. So I wanted to make it a little bit different. So yeah, I stuck on some like fancy colored lighting, put the incense on, you know, get the vibes going, have my nice drink by the side, a non-alcoholic drink. Have my iced tea, Arizona iced tea or whatever, playing around with like different placements, so how far, how close it is, using the positioning of the third mic to try and get like a bit more of an ambient sound. So yeah, this is what I've actually been using as the XY thing. So it's 2 Rode mics, these are called pencil mics. And they just give you like a true to life sound, you know, which is really good if you're just recording one instrument. And then the other one I have, just, you know, maybe focus a little bit more on the drones and then dialing that in and dialing it out, just depending on the instrument. Nice simple setup, but works perfectly for recording solo and pipes. Maybe I'll play a little snippet so we can hear how it sounds. So this is the setup here. So I've got the 2 pencil mics, XY, pointing in front of the towards the chanter. That gives you like a sort of how your ears would perceive it. You can play around with how far or how close away it is, that sort of thing. I've got the third mic on the side, just sort of pointing over the drones to pick up that. And sometimes I'll have it in different parts of the room, you know, pointing down or somewhere else, just to give you a bit of an idea of like the scale of the sound. It should work relatively straightforward. I'll give you a blast. I've got it recording right now so you can hear maybe just in a pinch really what it sort of sounds like. Yeah, maybe I'll play something that's not recording the album. Oh yeah, and the other thing as well, I'm wearing a shirt, so I like to dress up for the occasion, you know, get the lights going. If you're recording in the dark, dim them a little bit, it's quite nice. Get the incense on, yeah, get everything nice, you know, you're playing for the instrument. Got my tea on the side. Yeah, here we go. There you go. Like I said, I did most of the recording in batches, so it's kind of weird. Like you have to like borrow, like cannibalize like reeds and stuff from different instruments to try and make it work properly and get the right sounds and get it perfect for the recording. There's tape involved. There's a lot of tuning up, there's a lot of like rushes and stuff and playing around with moving things around and all the rest of it for that like little window where the magic happens and you get a really interesting take. That's just a little bit of the setup, just to give you an idea. In terms of mastering, I've got Sam Lawrence, pipe maker. He actually did a lot of pipes for this, a lot of restoration stuff, and built extra bits like regulators on the Leo set and a chanter for the Glen set. So yeah, pipe maker, studio engineer, musician, performer. He knows his stuff, knows his eggs, and yeah, I've asked him to do some mastering for this, which would be quite nice. And I've done mastering myself in the past for other projects, like I said, done it for rock bands and things like that. And it's always good to have somebody else come to the project and do the mastering rather than try and do it yourself. Better to have like another set of ears on it and spot any any mistakes or problems that you might have not gotten from ear fatigue, you know, that sort of thing. So yeah, I'm very happy that Sam's going to do some bits and pieces on this one as well. Great. And Sam, he runs a studio in Yorkshire, so if anyone's up in that area or wants to go and do some recording with him, I've heard what he's put out and it's amazing stuff, really good, so would recommend. Sam Lawrence, top pipe maker, reed maker, repairer, restorer, musician, recorder, engineer, nice fella. So what do I do once I've kind of got the recordings that I think are kind of going to work? Well, I bounce out a couple of just roughly mixed kind of stuff I'll stick them in a playlist and I'll listen to it back loads and loads of times, and I'll try and come up with maybe like a nice running order and like drop some tunes that I don't think quite fit the vibe of the album, or move things around. So maybe it needs to start with this one, ease into this one, and then, you know, come into an air or something like that afterwards. There's a mixture of like it's all solo piping, but there's a mixture of stuff with like just the chanter. There's some bits with just chanter and drums, and some bits where they come in earlier or later, some bits that are like full on straight in your face, a lot of regs. It's kind of a vibe. So it's just like, you know, how do I balance that out, you know, just jumping from one tune to the next. Some of the recordings are just like single tunes, just played through like twice or 3 times. Yeah, just make it a bit different from what you normally hear, and just a bit more leaning into those kind of like older piping recordings that you know, my sort of favourite recordings, and make it sound a bit more like those kind of recordings. Yeah, make it like a traditional piping album. Yeah, that's what I'm going for. Other problems that I've kind of come across recording this one. I toyed with the idea of having other musicians on this, so I kind of wanted to involve my dad, who plays guitar and bouzouki, and we know like the Ronan Brown set of pipes actually works really well with those other instruments. Like there's some nice recordings with like cran and things like that. That sounds really good with the other instruments, so I kind of wanted to do something with that. And after listening back to the recordings, although they were great and it was really nice, I don't think it fit the vibe of the album. So I don't know, maybe we'll do like an EP or something down the line. I don't know. Yeah, and I have some friends that I wanted to play along with as well on this, and I was like, you know what, after just recording that, I'm kind of happy that it's not going to happen. Actually, the very first recording I made for this a little while ago was with my brother, who plays fiddle, and he was playing bouzouki on this track. We did a really nice take of Hector the Hero, and you know, pipes and bouzouki, and I was just like, you know what, I don't think it needs to be on the album. I think, you know, not to make it like all about me. It's more like, you know what, this is just like, just keep it simple, but have less like road, you know, U-turns and side roads and things like that. I kind of wanted to have some whistle tracks, some stuff in E flat on there as well, and it's just like, nah, this is not the vibe for the album. Yeah, I've got to keep it simple. Keep it the way it's supposed to be. And then we come to the tricky part. So what do we do next? I've got the recordings pretty much 99% in the bag. I'm just basically picking and choosing from which recordings that I've already made that I want to keep that fit the flow of the album. Again, I want this to be like in the same sort of space as like a sort of 40 minutes, 45 minute album. And the reason for that is because this time I'm hopefully trying to do a vinyl release. Woo! Yeah, this is going to be like a proper physical in your hands LP that you can pick up, stick on your turntable. Yeah, that's I'm using the word vibe a lot, but that's the vibe, you know, that's what it's going to be. And yeah, so that's kind of what I want to go with this one. I'll have a CD as well. I don't think I'll do a cassette release for this one. I did cassette last time. Let's go back in time. Let's do even weirder stuff. Very excited about that. I found a company that's in London that does essentially print to order vinyls, and I'm going to give it a go once I've got everything sort of sorted out and mastered. I'll try it, see if it works. If I'm happy with the quality and how it goes, I'll go with them. If not, I'll fall back and I'll order a bunch of records. My last album, I ordered like a couple 100 CDs. It's great to be able to do that. It cuts the costs down, and I can make, I don't know, like a $5 per CD, something like that. If I'm going to do it with vinyl, if you're looking at like $1,000. No, not even that. Like $2,000 for like 100 copies. 200 copies is probably like $2,500, something like that. So the expensive part of it is getting it set up, and then it's however many that you order on top of that. It isn't actually that much of an expense. But the negative of that is you're stuck with like 100, 200 LPs to stick in your attic and see if they sell or not. So I'm thinking about going through this process where it can be like print to order. So what I'll do is I'll order like a small batch at the start, see what they're like, and then if I'm happy with that, I'll make them available for people to buy if they want to buy them as an LP. There's not much money in it, to be honest. Like I don't really make much out of physical sales like that way, but it means that people can have it as an LP if they want, and I'm happy to take a cut on that. CDs I'll probably make more money on because they're a bit cheaper. Maybe it's like 700 quid, 800 quid to order in bulk. So yeah, that could work out a little bit better. And here's the big question next. Do I stick it on streaming platforms? Irish traditional music, it's kind of unique in that people still buy CDs. Like, I still buy CDs. You know, I buy LPs, I buy physical media, and I'll rip them onto my computer and listen to them on my headphones or whatever when I'm walking around. There's still actually like a market for people who want to buy physical products, and you kind of need it with like Irish traditional music because there's such like a wealth of like really cool stuff that comes with it. Like, I go out of my way to make the physical releases look great. Like, the graphic design has to be like spot on. It needs to have a lot of information in there about the tunes, some lovely pictures, and yeah, I guess that's one of the reasons why people still buy physical media for Irish traditional music, because the whole package is kind of essential. Like, you need to know about the tunes, where they come from, that sort of thing, where people can like learn a little bit more about the instruments and things like that. And this is one of those releases where, you know what, it could be a coffee table book and I could fill it with information about all the different instruments and lovely photographs and things like that, and about the tunes and things like that as well. It's kind of a weird one. Yeah, I'll definitely do a CD release and pending vinyl release. So I'll see how it goes, and fingers crossed it actually turns out great and it sounds great and it's easy to do. It's going to go on Bandcamp, so if people want digital download, they can get it from Bandcamp. And I don't know if you know, but Bandcamp, you go on and you can listen to stuff for free anyway. After you've listened to it like 2 or 3 times or whatever, it then prompts you like, oh, would you like to buy this music instead? So it's a nice way for people to like get a feel for the album, get a listen to it, make sure it's what they want, without investing in the, you know, the money. Like, actually, maybe I don't want this, or maybe I really hate the sound of those old Egan pipes, they're dreadful, not for me, the reg's too loud, whatever. Yeah, so it's definitely going on Bandcamp, so that will be like the premier portal to like actually streaming it. The last album I did, I didn't get that many streams, and I guess it's probably my own fault, because it's a very niche sort of. Actually, all my work's kind of niche, really. Like, I did an album of digital, like, electronic takes on traditional Irish music. That's super niche. I still get some hits on Apple Music, Spotify, whatever. You know, that's fine. I mean, every once in a while that comes through and I get a little bit extra cash. Not too bad. To maybe talk about how I do it, if anyone's interested in doing it themselves, I normally use like a third-party program, I think previously I've used TuneCore. What they do is you upload your files, your masters, and they can put them onto different streaming sites for you. And it's kind of strange, but I haven't made that much money from streams, and I'm happy that people can access them, you know, nice and easy. I mean, at the end of the day, it's about getting the music out there. I've actually made the most money from stuff like TikTok and like Instagram Reels or whatever. Like, every so often I like check up on my TuneCore and there's like, you know, 40 quid from somebody's put my music on a reel somewhere, and I just get the money through from that. Really weird, yeah. And it tells you like, oh, this is like a reel from somebody who's based in, most of your views ended up in Mexico. Yeah, maybe I will do it and allow the music to be used in other places. And yeah, I don't know, I'm not sure. Okay, so I'm gonna try and get my TuneCore up here and we can have a wee look. Yeah, lifetime streams, 2.7 million. 2.7 million streams. Lifetime sales, how much does that equal? $196 US. Not great, not bad. I mean, I'm kind of happy that there is like an option for, if people want to get my music and they've got, you know, they already pay for like a streaming system and they haven't got, you know, 10 or 20 quid or whatever to go towards a physical release or a digital download, they can still enjoy the music. That's where my head's at. You know, I'm kind of like a massive musical communist, I guess. A musical socialist at this stage, where I just want people to have a listen. Somebody once told me that a CD, like a physical CD, an album, is a really expensive business card. And I've always had that like in the back of my mind. I'm like, you know what, it kind of is, you know. But I'm quite happy for people to, if they want to get it, if they want to stream it, maybe that's okay. Maybe I'll hold back on the streaming, or maybe put it on streaming, I don't know, later on in the year. I don't really know. I'm not sure. Let me know in the comments, you know, how do you normally access music? Do you pay Do you pay for your CDs, or do you pay for a digital download, or is the streaming platform your way to go? I know I'm guilty of both. There's some fantastic albums out there that I keep meaning to actually buy like a physical copy, but it's really handy if they're on Spotify already. But I just want I want to get like the physical, my hands on the CD so I can read it and see the artwork and everything like that. And I know it supports the artists a lot more and helps them to make more music down the line. Yeah, it's kind of like a Patreon thing, isn't it, really? Like you're paying a little bit extra for them to be able to go forward and make more things and enjoy, a bit of profit from what they've actually made. Yeah, a decent wage, I suppose. Okay, let's have a look at Bandcamp next. I'm just being really truthful about the whole sort of process here, just so people can, know what it's like releasing an album, what to expect or whatever. So all-time plays, these are like streams on Bandcamp. What's it say? 10,994. So almost 11k in streams. That's quite nice. Sales, just over £1,000. So yeah, not too bad. 90 purchases. And of course I sell other ways as well. Like I don't want to call them a distributor, but they're kind of a distributor for if anyone in Ireland or Europe or whatever wants to buy a copy of it and doesn't want to pay the the shipping and stuff from the UK. I sell them through the Uilleann in Dublin, the Pipers Club there. I sent them a load of CDs whenever I started and they sold out, so I sent them a couple more CDs. So you can buy it if you're in Ireland and you wanna support the Uilleann as well as supporting me. You can buy it directly from them. It's quite handy, and hopefully I'll do the same for this one. They've been great. Whenever I was a kid growing up, that was always the place where I would get my like pipe and CDs from. Great distributor. I mean, if anyone knows any other places that's quite happily take on a couple albums and sell them on my behalf, maybe somewhere over in the States would be quite handy actually. I do end up posting a lot out that way, or maybe someone else in Europe. That'd be good as well. But in the meantime, I'll probably sell this one just through my Bandcamp as usual. Bandcamp takes a cut, PayPal takes a cut, everyone takes a cut really. Yeah, you're cutting, and then you get like a little bit of extra money coming in at the end per sale. It's not really the goal of this one, is, and I'm not going to retire early off the back of this album. This is just a way for me to cover the costs maybe of actually recording it and producing it and stuff, so that I've got like a shiny expensive business card at the end. So after I'm like happy with like the running order and the playing order, I kind of put like some stuff on like a secret private SoundCloud where I can send it off to some people and get some feedback and understand like what tracks are good, what doesn't work so well in the running order of things. Yeah, for example, like there was one track that I wasn't massively happy with. It's kind of like an off the cuff take, and like the timing's a bit funky on it, and like that sort of thing. And I sent it to my teacher, Noel Devine, taught me how to play pipes whenever I was a kid, and he loved it, and he said that was just like a really like the best recording of that tune that he'd heard before. And I'm like, oh, okay, maybe I'll keep that on. But he gave me some pointers towards other tunes I needed to fix it, and some interesting stuff as well, like different names and other people's versions of these tunes. So yeah, it's kind of a nice process. I quite like that. But whenever I'm happy with everything, I'll try and get the album artwork sorted, and like I don't want to jinx it, but I've kind of got like a really, really cool album cover design done from one of my favourite artists, a really important Irish artist, and I'll see if I can maybe give you a clue. Okay, here's the clue. That's enough. We'll see how it goes. I'm kind of on track for a release in May. So mid-May we have the little piping festival that I run with my friend Rick out in West Wales, the Ferryside Piping Festival, hoping for a release, like a soft release in time for that. So maybe I'll have some records available there to sell, some CDs. Fingers crossed, if I get it all done. If I don't, it's not too bad, but it's nice to have a deadline, isn't it? I wanted to talk a little bit about like marketing as well. Like this is something that I think all musicians really struggle with. It's like you put all your effort into being a good musician and then you don't know how to tell people about it. And I'm really guilty of this in the past. Like I don't know if everyone knows this, but I've actually got this will be my 4th album. So I've got Fieldish Recording, which is solo Uilleann pipes recorded on cassette. Really weird kind of thing. people love it. If you're into that kind of thing, you'll love it. And then I did an album of ringtones on uilleann pipes. People seem to like that one as well. I don't know why. And then the third one I've done was like a digital, like electronic album, which I talked about earlier. I didn't really push that out like heavy. I just kind of like silently, quietly released it. I didn't even release it under my name. I just had it under the name of Frontier Nua as like its own thing, because it's not really me solo uilleann pipes. Yeah, it's a really weird, obscure kind of thing, and some people got it. Like I made some sales of it and some streams of it, and again, the people who have it really, really like it. Actually, strange enough, there's a copy was purchased by the Irish Traditional Music Archive in Dublin. Maybe they like it there. I don't know. Maybe they just bought it out of curiosity or pity. So yeah, the marketing side of things, I'm really crap at. Maybe this video is my only marketing I'll do for it. I actually had some good stuff the last time. I got my Fieldish recording album got reviewed in Irish Traditional Music magazine, which is great, so maybe I'll approach them for more bits in this one. Maybe I'll just try and push this one a bit more. I really hate doing like self-promotion for things. I feel kind of guilty doing it, so you know, we'll see. Maybe I'll put like a message on like Facebook or something, or the uilleann piping forums, and just get the word out. Or maybe whenever I do release it, if anyone out there, you know, could do like a word of mouth type thing, tell your friends, buy a copy for your dog, whatever, you know. Yeah, get the word out. It's something that, yeah, I really hate it. I hate doing it with like because I'm an artist as well. Like I sell paintings and I do exhibitions, and like I've had a lot of success with that in the past, but just like the whole networking and marketing thing of it, it really just grinds me down, and I just absolutely hate it. So yeah, I'm much better at doing like, you know, maybe I'll do some marketing in person. Maybe you'll spot me at the Willie Clancy summer school this year, or maybe the Peebril in Chinall or something. Just some way of just getting the word out, and you know, oh, I have an album, do you want to have a listen? You know, you can stream it for free, or you can order a copy, or I have a CD here that you can buy, or something like that. Yeah, I'm kind of at a loss for that. I'll look it up and see. Yeah, I appreciate any help out there whatsoever. Yeah, don't forget to like and subscribe. You know, I say that as a joke, but it's like actually really helps. Yeah. Anyway, yeah. Marketing is cringe, but I'll get there. And that's it from me today. Yeah, so sorry it's been a bit of a talking head kind of video. I'm not a massive fan of those. I normally skip them on YouTube, so if you got this far, you know, congrats, pat yourself on the back really. But I just wanted to talk about the sort of recording process and how I've been working on this album, and it's been taking over my whole life recently, and I can't wait to share it with you all. That's going to be amazing. I'm really looking forward to it. Yeah, there's some cracker tracks on there, some really nice recordings, some weird stuff, some yeah, it's going to be interesting. Yeah, nice to share the unique voices and, you know, the characteristics of each of those old sets with you all. Yeah, it's going to be great. So stay tuned for that. Hopefully once I get all this sorted, we'll be back to a regular programming, and I can start talking about stuff that isn't just recording my own album. Alright, and with that, I'll see you all later. Alright, take it easy, and yeah, and be good to yourselves. Alright, any thoughts, comments, leave them down there. I'll get through, and yeah, see how we get on. Alright, bye bye. Okay, I can't believe I'm actually doing this, but I was going to do it was going to be like an April Fool's thing, and I've kind of missed April Fool's, but I'll throw it in anyway, just for something, just so I'm not talking about my own bloody album that I've been losing my mind over for the past couple of months. Right, here we are in the bathroom. The cat's just knocked over everything. Great, thank you, Goose. My hair care routine. Welcome to my TikTok. So first and foremost, I pretty much just exclusively use stuff from Lush. For the hair, the shampoo is this one here. It's called Cynthia Sylvia Stout. It's actually made with Guinness or other various, it doesn't actually say which one it is, but essentially it's like Guinness but for your hair. It smells amazing, really good, gives you a good head. I like that. Another one that I use that I really like, I used this one this morning. This is called Curly Whirly, again from Lush. I'm not sponsored by it, by the way, it's just Just thought I'd give this a go. It's made with like coconuts and stuff. Yeah, it gives you lovely, lovely natural curls like mine. And as a conditioner, I use this one here. It's called Super Milk. So you just spray it in. Absolutely gorgeous. It smells amazing. It's kind of like their American cream that they do. Like if you want like a physical version of it, coconut, almond, oat milk. Yeah, this is good. Yeah, really nice for your hair. Oh dear me. So normally I'll just let that dry naturally. If I'm in a hurry or if I want to be fancy, I'll stick it in, what's it called? The one with the claw. There's a diffuser, something like that. I don't know. If I'm doing that with a hairdryer, I'll give it a bit extra protection with something like this. This is like an avocado mousse, which helps lock in the curls, keeps it nice protected if you're using like the hairdryer on it. Yeah. That's my hair care routine. Honestly, people do ask me this. It's ridiculous. So now I have it on tape, so I can just say, "Oh, I've got it in this video." You can follow everything on there. There we go. Like and subscribe.